My question for you is, statistics show that 60% of women who are murdered by their intimate partners.
Yeah, I'm sure, because men are less likely to be murdered by women. Full stop. Yeah, exactly. So that statistic makes sense to me. I'm still monogamous relationships. The most violent relationships that are on the books are between lesbian partners. Yes, when people are intimate,
that's not a true
that is actually true.
Power themselves, and with that comes safety when it comes to decreasing STIs, abuse, sexual assault. We have the Moches in Mexico, which is an indigenous tribe. They believed in gender fluidity. And then you have European colonizers coming who...
For example, the Nordic countries, right? These are countries, I'm talking about like Sweden, Denmark, right? These countries tend to be like, I think in the past 14 years, they've been...
The point being is that in 2023, there was this massive scandal where they recognize that a lot of these studies that were being produced, behavioral science, objectively say that women who are committing suicide rates more than they were in the 1950s. Like it has actually.
Was it a cause of the workforce?
We're also binge drinking at a higher rate.
How's this cause of
opioids at a higher rate?
How is this a cause of entering?
Because I think,
but rape rates have gone down by about half in the last 20 years, right? So,
raped.
Every study shows rape is not correlated with just sexual gratification. It is a power structure.
Okay.
So it is about households, and we got to stay home. We also had a pill popping problem. We also were viewed as maids. Like, we were seen as a house appliance.
And on top of that, since I think 1999, by rate, we are increasing our opioid use compared to men. So women are not popping at all either. We're also, like I said to you, consuming alcohol more and binge drinking more than we did in the 1950s, which is why I was trying to get her to say,
before the sexual revolution, when I couldn't get a bank account, couldn't get a home loan, couldn't work outside the home, couldn't travel.
To be clear, the majority of people have to put themselves into debt. And I don't think anybody would describe debt as a form of freedom, right?
Okay, so currently, women make up about 47% of the workforce. Mm-hmm. If this were the case and that women were just inherently unhappy.
Because now, which I believe that the reason that the government wanted women to enter the workforce is because it gave them an opportunity to tax a household twice. And so
any clear evidence? I mean, there's 169 million women in this country over. How can you say that you know exactly what...
We will discover that, and there actually have been studies, people that have gone to people on their deathbeds, and the number one regret that people had was that they gave too much to their careers. And this includes, and I think it is the reason why so many women are turning to popping pills, why there's been such a significant, more than 1,000% increase since 1999.
But men can have it all. Men can be more fulfilled at home. Now, the average cost of raising a child a year is around $21,000 or more. So my issue is, are you saying...
On Naima, we don't live in an economy where people typically can have a one-income household, right? Whether it be the mom or dad that stays home.
You don't understand that a bunch of government officials in the CIA funded the feminist movement. So for all of your hatred for the patriarchy...
I'm so confused.
And it was being...
Are you talking about because World War II occurred and we had to go to factories, and then when we left the factories, they forced us back into the homes?
That's not what I'm saying at all.
Like you brought up suicide, they're 4 times more likely to kill themselves.
Which is why I don't...
And while women, we're twice as more often on antidepressants to kill themselves.
Which is why I don't...
And while women, we're twice as more often on antidepressants, but that's because we go out and do what we need to do to keep coping.
Because we're not happy.
And stats, when you look at how working mothers are way less likely to be in poverty. Maternal education is the #1 predictor of childhood outcomes. Better score, way less likely to be in poverty. Maternal education is the #1 predictor of childhood outcomes. Better scores, getting higher incomes in the future. It's weird to me and college-educated women are least likely to get divorced, and they're the only women, the top 10% of women are the only women the top 10% of women are the only women whose marriage rates are going up. So they're getting married, they're staying married, and their kids are doing better.
Make up Senate, and 3.3% of Congress up until this date have ever been women. So by denotative definition, we literally live in a constantly bring up. It wasn't until 1994 that it was legally illegal to beat your wife. And so what we're dealing with...
Matriarchy, we are so much closer to where we were just a few decades ago or a couple generations ago where women couldn't hold... et cetera, because for millennia now, or from millennia up until now, women were unable to enter the work. Then that, for example, in the 1980s, only a quarter of college graduates were women, where now majority of college graduates are women. That shows that because of the ways are actually now changing too. A majority, I think, or at least half of law school graduates are now women. It used to be the case in, for example, a few...
In domestic violence, 98% of perpetrators of rape and sexual assault are men. 95% of perpetrators of domestic violence are men.
Obviously, I'm sure you've recognized the gender gap has been debunked so many times. It's almost foolish to debunk it again.
Well, you could say, yeah, that most women will go into jobs where they're making less.
Yes.
It's obviously ridiculous when there are countries where people literally are honor killed for like Instagram posts. But even if we're talking about just the US, right? We don't have paid maternity leave. Abortion is illegal in over a dozen different states. And as someone earlier was mentioning, women are overwhelmingly the victims of sexual violence and domestic abuse. So that doesn't seem like a very well-designed matriarchy where women are with you. But when we're talking about abortion, when 99% take place in the first few weeks, when there's no thalamus, there's no cortex, there's no capacity for consciousness.
Is that what we just need to tax the government more?
Every other developed country has paid maternity leave.
But it's not magic, as in like the money is coming.
Magical countries.
The money is coming from you. In fact, men are committing suicide at a higher rate than women. We're looking around the world.
Feminism also would push for like increased awareness of men's mental health.
Accurate statement. For example, Title IX has made it very possible for women to go to college, 600% more so, right? And
the fact that, and we do agree that more women are going to college, more women than men are graduating with college degrees, and despite that, people are saying,
as you think it does, our closest ancestors are chimps and bonobos. Bonobos are matriarchal, chimps are patriarchal. So, and our ancestors are chimps and bonobos. Bonobos are matriarchal, chimps are patriarchal. So, and our previous societies have run egalitarian for millennia, paying career fields. When women have been kept out of these fields for so long, it's a slow and steady race to get them there. It's not that this is okay for them to choose. There's more women in STEM, there's more lawyers, there's more women. Women are making up strides to those fashion. That's why there's actually, at the top of all these fashion houses, a lot of men are in successful positions in fashion. The way in which you teach it.
Women can't have 10 million followers. She's not allowed to have 10 million followers. We have to take her down. And that, to me,
to people, for example, people like Nara Smith and Ballerina Farm they're social media content creators. That is their job, right? So it's not